The automotive industry is often a ruthless one, as Elon Musk has said.
It's very difficult to keep a car company alive.
Cars come and cars go, and sometimes that means we lose great cars. This could be for a whole manner of reasons, whether the manufacturer just decided it was time for it to end, or frankly, it was a terrible car. But in the case of the automotive industry, we have discontinued cars. And often, this can be fine, we're happy to see them go, but often, we are really sad to see some cars go.
No! God, please, no!
So in this video, you are going to see discontinued cars that you will probably never see again. And if you're sad like me, hit the like button and subscribe, because I will be here to make sure that you are happier when watching your next car video. Before I crack on with this video, there are a hell of a lot of American cars I'll just throw up right now that are all being discontinued. But because I'm talking about the UK market, I don't really want to go into why the Charger or why things like the Ford Edge are being discontinued, because the American market's different. But yes, electrification, don't forget that one. Before we kick off, it's obvious that electric cars are impacting this discontinued cars that we are seeing. As we go into the electric era, it does worry me that we have to see loads of different vehicles coming in that we have no idea what they are. This video, I was going to make a joke about Jag. Bit of a touchy subject because they're discontinuing this, and this. In fact, Jag are just discontinuing everything, as we already know, and I'm not going to make a whole video on that. But one car that is worth talking about is the F-Type. The Jag F-Type has been really popular for well over a decade. With its two facelift versions, it's been pretty successful and come down to a reasonable price point to where probably me and you could even buy this thing. And I've always kind of loved it for that. But there is going to be no more Jag F-Type. It's no surprise that Ford decided to discontinue the Fiesta last year. I mean, that was big news, we all know it.
Wow.
But why did they discontinue the Fiesta? And no, it's not just about the Ford Puma. Yes, the Puma was in its wake to become the next car and has been pretty successful, being the top selling car in the UK. But after 47 years, why would Ford just decide to discontinue a successful car that's been going for so long? Well, it's partly that electric thing I brought up before. On top of that, they've also decided that they're going to start making Explorer and the Capri, which I'm kind of on the fence about because they're both medium-sized SUVs. And weirdly enough, the last Fiesta rolled off the production line in July 2023 in Germany, specifically Cologne. Don't ask me why, maybe they just have a major plant there, but it wasn't Essex, unfortunately. I suppose when it does come to a car that's been on sale for 50 years almost, has it sort of run its course? And if you look around the UK, the answer to that is probably yes. Another car I'm quite sad about is the recent Audi R8. A famous supercar that again has been around since 2007. Personally thought the first gen was the best one, and it seems to have been popular throughout the whole entire world. The R8 was the perfect supercar in many ways, having a Lamborghini engine, somewhat practicality, and everyday usability of a normal car. And Audi just did a great product. It had so much great engineering and tech. So it's hardly surprising that Audi had to keep up with their customer demand, and they kept building more Audi R8s. So it does beg the question, why did they cancel production? Well, it comes back to what I said before. The R8 is being killed off because of ICE engines. In other words, internal combustion engines. Electric era really is coming, folks.
Hell no!
So Audi said they will stop making it, and honestly, that is really sad. Jeremy Clarkson was right when he predicted the end of the automotive industry back in 2009 when he was driving an Aston Martin V12 Vantage in this video.
Cars like this will soon be consigned to the history books.
So Audi's going to put the final R8 in a museum to preserve its legacy, which is kind of sad. If you were to guess between a Fiesta and a Mini Clubman, which one's been on sale longer? You're wrong, it's the Mini Clubman. Unbelievably, after 55 years of on and off building, admittedly, they sold 1.1 million Clubmans. So you would think that they would continue to sell the Clubman. Well, folks, it's all about that electrification era that I was speaking about. Do you remember that back in the start of the video? Basically, these cars are all being discontinued because we are having electric vehicles now. And why is it being replaced? The Aceman and the Countryman are all cars that are going to be electrified for Mini's lineup. But again, it's a family car that sold well, so they're just deciding to get rid of it, even though it was doing well. I love the Clubman, and unfortunately, they are getting rid of it, and it's going to be another discontinued car for the UK market. Up next is Kia. But before you actually say anything, the Kia Stinger it is. I've always thought the Kia Stinger was such a brilliant, cool car to go up against the German and Italian rivals. But in 2024, the Kia Stinger is going. And partly the reason is, yes, there's electrical vehicles coming, is they're making way for better vehicles that they want to make for Kia. But there's this, the Kia Stinger just did not sell well in the UK. Fact. How many times on one hand can you count a Kia Stinger? Probably a handful of times. And it's such a shame because I do think it's a good car. Kia sold 2,000 plus Kia Stingers in the UK. And compared to the hundreds of thousands BMWs, Mercedes, Audis, and Alfa Romeos, they just weren't seeing it as financially viable. So at least with this one, it tried, and it wasn't necessarily just due to its electrification. I think it's fair to say that the Kia Stinger deserved a better chance here. So what Japanese cars are going? Unfortunately, the Nissan GTR. Look, the Nissan GTR is probably more famous than the Audi R8, I would claim. And with 17 years on sale, this car has been through the same facelift pretty much and slight tweaks, despite every time being a brilliant car. And at least with this one, it's not like electrification really is going to impact this. Maybe it will. I'm actually not too bothered about this one, because we're gonna get R36, right? Tell me the R36 is coming. But if we were honest with ourselves, the R35 has literally looked the same really since 2007. So it's probably about time. And with the R36, it could be rumoured to have 1,000 horsepower. I mean, all GTRs have so much horsepower, right? Let's just bring back the R32, 33, 34 and make them look like that. The Volkswagen Up, it's gone down. After a fabulous 12 years, the Volkswagen Up is being axed by Volkswagen. And do you want to hazard a guess why that is? Electrification. When it arrived to the UK in 2011, it was one of the cheapest vehicles on sale, believe it or not. And honestly, in my opinion, still to this day, one of the best Volkswagens you can buy. It was $8.5 grand. Now, if you actually scale that up to today's inflation, that's probably like 15, right? Now, yes, it was a bit like the Toyota Aygo. It did have its competitors like the Seat May and the Skoda Citigo, but the Up for me was probably the best one. And you can't really hate an Up. Modified or stock, looked great. It's being discontinued and they're axing the Up, and I'm sorry to see it go because genuinely it is a good car. It's not actually as sad as the Kia Stinger. Aside from the fact that Audi R8 is going, can you guess what other Audi is going? It is unfortunately the TT. Now this was sort of rumoured around the end of last year. It's no longer being made. But for me, the first TT is the most iconic car ever. It sold well in the UK, but also worldwide. Would you like to guess why it's going? Electrification. But to be honest, after almost 26 years on sale, the TT has sold probably around 600,000 units across the world. And that's just one car. Like, imagine Jag would struggle to sell 600,000 units, like, flat out. But I'm sure the TT will come back in some sort of form of sports car form. And for hairdressers, it will be perfect because you're going to get an electrified TT. How boring does that sound? Like, what? That doesn't sound very nice. As this may well be my last video of the year, have a great Christmas and New Year, and thank you for supporting this channel. It really does mean quite a lot.